Hello everyone, welcome back to ViceTube. Today we are diving into a storm of headlines that have been grabbing global attention recently, straight from the Trump 2.0 presidency in 2025. From bold geopolitical claims to battles with institutions at home and even a Nobel Prize nomination from Pakistan, his actions are not just shocking headlines but symptoms of a deeper shift in global geopolitics. But this video isn't just about political drama, it's about critical analysis. We will connect these developments to themes highly relevant for the UPSC 2025 essay paper like global leadership, multipolarity, and fragility of international institutions. So stay tuned because I am breaking down how this real world chaos could shape your UPSC answers in essay as well as ethics. Let's get started. First one, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. This quote is given by Lord Acton. Trump floated the idea of annexing Canada via economic force and talks of making it the 51st US state. He also reiterated his desire to acquire Greenland for national security. It highlights how unchecked ambition can lead to delusions of grandeur, even proposing the annexation of an entire country. Second one, when power accepts wisdom, governance falters. This quote is inspired by Plato. Trump has publicly criticized Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, calling him stubborn and urging the Federal Board to override him or even remove him over his refusal to lower interest rates. He's also been advocating for aggressive rate cuts and structural reforms at the Fed, including downsizing the policy shifts away from consensus based decision making. Trump's political leverage used against an independent institution like Federal Reserve highlights the tension between authority and expertise. Plato warned that when ruling isn't guided by knowledge, it can undermine the very systems it seeks to control. Third, he who closes minds risks becoming the jailer of his own. This quote is inspired by John Stuart Mill. An executive order titled Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit Based Opportunity was signed. This revoked a long standing affirmative action mandate, effectively ending diversity, equity, and inclusion, a set of policies and practices aimed at promoting fair treatment, access, and representation for historically marginalized groups across workplaces, educational institutions, and government agencies. Department of Education issued an ultimatum that colleges and schools have just 2 weeks to eliminate all DEI focused programs such as race based admissions, scholarships, or hiring practices, or risk losing federal funding. Harvard is resisting as the administration froze $2.2 billion in federal grants. The university pushed back, arguing this threatens academic freedom. Suppressing diverse voices or academic freedom can backfire, ultimately stifling the very intellectual growth of this institution should foster. Fourth, the greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinion by Leonardo da Vinci. Trump claimed credit for brokering a ceasefire between India and Pakistan in mid 2025. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs strongly rejected the claim, stating no third party mediation took place and that the ceasefire was a result of direct bilateral communication and pre existing protocols. Pakistan endorsed Trump's role, even nominating him for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize based on this claim. Trump's ego-driven narrative of peacemaking reflects a perception-based leadership style where reality bends to fit one's self-image. Da Vinci's quote critiques self-delusion, believing one's own role to be central regardless of the facts. In geopolitics, such self-serving narrative may serve domestic image building but can undermine diplomatic credibility internationally. Fifth, trade wars are merely national suicide pacts. Trump slammed India with a new 25% tariff and then a second totaling 50% in response to its continued purchase of Russian oil. He accused India of indirectly financing Russia's war in Ukraine, spurring sharp tensions. It underscores the self-defeating nature of imposing harsh economic penalties on allies, ultimately harming all parties. Let's see some more philosophical topics where we can use these examples. When elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. This is an African proverb used when explaining how global power struggles. For example, US under Trump versus other nations harm smaller or weaker countries. Trump's bullying diplomacy, pressure on allies, and disruption of global forums can hurt vulnerable nations. Another topic, the strong do what they can and the weak suffer what they must. This quote is by Thucydides. For the same claims, we can use this quote in the UPSC essays. Next quote is, populism is the sugar of politics, sweet but not nutritious. You can rephrase it or quote it to critique Trump's populist agenda that creates short-term appeal, that is the sugar of politics, but long-term instability, that it is not nutritious. For example, nominating himself for Nobel Peace Prize, anti-globalization rhetoric. So this way, you can use actions of Mr. Trump in your UPSC essay as examples as well as use them in the relevant suitable quote or philosophical essay.
Please like the video if you feel that the content is helpful, and share the video with your friends who are giving UPSC 2025 mains and preparing for 2026 CSE attempt, and don't forget to subscribe.